3, 2, 1, sprint.
Basically you just pedal as hard and as fast as you can for 30 seconds with weights on a bicycle. So you get sort of a maximum power, you get an average power, you get a fatigue rate, so it's quite interesting sort of looking at the variety of measurements.
Keep going, keep turning around, well done, well done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and stop. Well done.
So we can take the weight off for you.
Good on you. Yeah, you just keep heading along.
I think we go for ages and then you say, you're halfway there!
I know. Yeah, it's not pleasant, is it? But you did well.
Okay, so let's...
Bit out of breath. That's quite good.
Okay, sounds good.
Alright. That was quite hard work. You just sort of got to go fast as you can for 30 seconds. And then see what your maximum power output is. I don't think I'm very powerful. But, I sort of endured it for a bit. So.
Amy is exercising, as she is. We're in 12 degrees Celsius air, so it's cooling here, and we're watching Amy just warm up. We're looking at where she starts to sweat, and we're looking at her peripheral blood flow using laser Doppler, laser light onto her finger and her toe. And what we'll do is, once we know that she's sweating away and she's warmed up, we'll stop her, and then because she's in a cool environment, she'll cool, and we'll look at her stop sweating, we'll look at her shut down her peripheral blood flow, and we'll watch her start to shiver. So we'll be able to define the whole of her thermoregulatory system in sweating and shivering.
Excellent.
So we're measuring Amy's skin temperature, we're measuring her heat flux from her body, we're measuring her core temperature, we're measuring her oxygen consumption, we're measuring her blood flow, everything that you can imagine we're measuring one way or another.
Tricky.
Phil is having a sensor connected to his finger, which will be dipped in 6 degrees Celsius water for 20 minutes. This will show what will happen to blood flow to his extremities in cold conditions.
Right, on the base here.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, can you bend that to the knuckle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that?
Yeah, because when you're in the water, that forefinger will be resting here.
Yeah.
The middle finger will be resting there.
Yeah.
And that will be the one immersed up to about the knuckle there.
Fine. Okay.
Right, let me just...
First, he exercises for 10 minutes.
We want to try and make sure that your deep body temperature is normal or above normal before you take this test. So this particular exercise you're doing at this rate will produce a rise in your deep body temperature of 0.3 of a degree centigrade over the period of time. So we know we're starting this next part of the experiment with a slightly raised core temperature. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, in.
While Phil patiently sits through the experiment, Ian talks us through his shocking earlier results.
So this is the normal pattern.
10 minutes ago.
Where you've got blood flow in the finger after it's immersed in the water, and then that blood flow shuts down. So you get less and less flow through the finger. And then as the muscles that vasoconstrict relax, they let blood back into the finger. So you get return of blood flow. And every so often, as the finger recovers, it will shut down, stop blood flow, and then open up again. Now, something very peculiar is happening in my finger, because there's the normal blood flow before it goes into the water, absolutely typical. Put it in the cold water and it shuts down almost completely, not a thing, for 20 minutes. Absolutely no blood flow through the finger, although I didn't feel particularly uncomfortable. But the temperature of my finger's down at 7.6, 7.4, and then we let it run a bit. When I came out of the water, that's where the finger comes out, and it's still very little blood flow through the finger, although I started to feel it pulsing. And then minutes later, the blood flow starts to sort of return, and by this point, my finger is actually 31.55, so its temperature had recovered completely. But this is very odd. I'm wondering what it means. If it's real, will I have to be particularly careful about keeping my gloves on?
If you compare the controlled pulsing before he started with this one now, see his blood vessels have really shut down. But let's see what happens. It will take a while. So just relax, Phil, and ignore us.
I'm about to do VO2 max test, which apparently is not particularly pleasant. You've got a bucket beside the bin.
I'm quite interested to see what the experience is like, having watched Steve go through it, and now Ruth about to. I see it's a very, very tough investigation.
So Ruth is now going to undertake a thing called a VO2 max test, which is your maximum rate of oxygen consumption during high intensity exercise. And the test normally lasts about 10 minutes, so she'll be on a bike and we'll be increasing the loading progressively until she eventually is unable to maintain the desired pace, the required pace. We measure her oxygen, so she'll be linked up to a gas analyzer, an oxygen analyzer. We'll also be measuring her heart rate at the same time, because her maximum oxygen uptake will more or less coincide with her maximum heart rate, which will probably be around about 190 odd beats per minute. We're also taking some blood so that we can measure lactic acid concentration, and we would expect a very high lactic acid concentration at the conclusion of the test as well.
Ruth indicates how heavy the workload is on a scale of 1 to 20, with 20 being very, very heavy.
12, 13, 13.
Yeah.
That's good going. You doing okay here? 15, 16, 17, 17. Well done.
8 minutes?
Yeah, 8 minutes, yeah.
We'll put, on 8 we'll take the pod one.
17, 18, 18. Well done. Doing really, really well. You're nearly there.
8 minutes, so. Times?
Here we go, 8:40.
181 and
18, 19, 19. Well done. Keep it going. Yep.
Keep it going.
Keep it going. Keep it going. That's it. Keep it going and stop. Well done. Well done. Good effort.
Come on, Ruth, how was that?
So that's pretty tough. You just basically keep ramping up, putting more and more weights on, and you can see the dials just going up and your heart rate's going up.
What was the hardest bit?
And when you put the last weight on, I just couldn't.
Is it? Do you feel it in your legs, in your lungs?
I felt it in my legs, didn't really feel it in my lungs as much, but I really wasn't taking deep enough breaths. I think when you get to that stage, you just take sort of fairly shallow breaths.
50.1 was
2.5 minutes.